What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Hopped Up Shots. This week, we see what we can come up with for 50 Weight by Industrial Arts Brewing Company. Stay tuned and find out what we can do. Alright, so now we are going to do the shot with the funnel, make it look like, I'm getting lubed up or oil is being poured into the human machine, kind of going with that 50 weight style. I wanted to get kind of an action shot here like we talked about. So, relatively simple setup, but the lighting's slightly complicated because we're going to try to use a higher shutter speed to try to capture that pour into the funnel. So I've got two lights basically face on. These aren't the strongest lights. I want to give this kind of a darker vibe. I've got just a single pane of black cardstock behind me. My head is going to fit basically straight on behind here. I'm going to be in this chair, head back, funnel in my mouth, and I'm going to have my fiance standing basically where you are and pouring into the funnel. Camera is here. We've got a shutter speed of 500 to try to freeze that pour, and we're going to see what kind of cool shot we can come up with. Important part of this shot is with Jordan standing here and pouring more than likely right hand. It's going to be open hand, can label out so you can see it pouring into the funnel. I'm going to actually remotely trigger the camera, so once I start feeling that pour, I'm going to just slam on this button and high shutter speed, high frequency, just blast that camera and try to get a bunch of bursts in here. Hopefully this doesn't take too many shots or I'm going to be plastered. See what happens. Alright, so 50 weight from Industrial Arts Brewing Company. Obviously, oil style shot. We want to give something very industrial, workmanlike, like we talked about. So what we've got here is we've got a bunch of old tools. We've got an old kind of wood planked tabletop type scene. Once we get this set up, we're going to kill most of the big studio lights. We're going to do this as simply as possible. We might end up only using this light, maybe one other to help highlight the can, and just give it that very warm orangey glow. Set up with some old tools hanging out, a deck of cards maybe spread out so that it gives that feeling of two mechanics, two manufacturers, blue collar workers, end of the day, beer, playing a game of cards. And that's what we're going to set up here. So let's see how it turns out.
So when it came down to these two shots, it was really just a matter of which one I liked the look of the can better. Settled on this one, and then it was about just making this look a little moodier. So we cropped in so that it was a bit closer, so that you get rid of all the outside stuff. Then used my favorite tool, the object selection, to really make that can pop a little bit more. And then I really wanted to bring down that background so that myself, the funnel, and that can really stood out from that background. It had a nice moody vibe to it. Just played with some of the colors, give it some clarity, and I liked the way it looked. This one I actually just really liked out of camera, so the majority of the work that I put into this one was just to kind of give it a little bit moodier, darker vibe, make the light a little warmer, make that can stand out, and just kind of add some more texture to the whole scene. But honestly, this one I felt pretty good with just out of camera. Didn't want to mess with it too much, but just gave it a little bit different feeling with some of the color corrections and textures. All right, I think those shots came out awesome. I'm super happy with them. Luckily, we got that shot of the pouring into the funnel done pretty quickly. Otherwise, I would have been absolutely roasted. But it's a good beer, just not one for chugging. I hope you liked them. In the comments below, tell me which of these two shots you liked best. You know, I appreciate you tuning in. If you've got any ideas for beers you'd like to see me shoot, things you think might stump me, go ahead and leave it in the comments and I'll see if I can find it and come up with a shoot for it, and we'll make a video on that. If there's any other things you'd like to know about photography or beer in general, let me know. I'm happy to make that type of content. We've got a whole short series on what kind of beer glass to use and when and why. So that'll be up here or here. I'm not sure where the little card shows up, but tune into that. I hope you enjoy it, and stay tuned for Thirsty Thursday, where we give 50 Weight by Industrial Arts Brewing the proper beer tasting, not through a funnel, and see what we really think of it. I hope you'll join us. I'll see you next week. Thanks.